I'm Tiffany, and this is Towering TBR. Alright, welcome back. This is one of my most anticipated videos I get to do. Not only do I get to play my April TBR game, but I also get to pick out the books according to the prompts for the magical Readathon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link G and her description of the entire Readathon. I am going again for Archmage, which means I have 6 prompts. I will share those with you, and I will also play my game and come up with a TBR for April. So, if you have not seen my March TBR game, I will link it in the cards and in the description below so you can check that out because I'm about to spoil the results. Okay, so I drew B5, read a manga, and I have done that. So I get the check mark on the bingo card. N5, listen to a full cast audiobook. I didn't end up reading or listening to the audiobook that I had assigned, but one of my prize books was a full cast audio, and so I am deciding to count that. I am a Booktube Prize judge currently in the octofinals. I can't talk about the books yet, but be looking forward to that video because that should drop in early April. N4, read a book authored by 2 or more authors. I read Nemesis Games, which is the 5th in the Expanse series, which is written by 2 authors who use the pen name James S.A. Corey. The last pull was O3, read one of the oldest books on your TBR. I read Maggie Now, and I now have a bingo.
Winner!
This is the first bingo, and it's very exciting. I tried to figure out what new book I wanted to buy, and I settled on Exhalation by Ted Chiang. This is a short story collection featuring science fiction and fantasy stories, and I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely love it. I've been on the lookout to get a used copy, but I guess everybody loves it. Nobody is reselling their copies, so I'm going to buy a new one and hopefully get a chance to reread it soon. Okay, I am going to keep going with my bingo game because now I'm aiming to get a blackout, meaning check out all of the prompts off the board. And when I do that, I'm going to go to a bookstore and have a little shopping spree of up to 5 books. So keep working on that. That's exciting. All right, I am going to draw some prompts. The first is I5, read a translated book. All right, so I picked up Monster Volume 3 by Naoki Urasawa. This is translated from the Japanese by Agnes Yoshida. So this is the 3rd volume in the Monster manga series, and it is really good, and I'm excited to keep going. All right, draw number 2. G5, read a book I wanted to get to in 2022. All right, I think for that I'm going to choose Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. All I know is this is a magical story about a man and a house, and that's all I know. Nobody else will give more details than that. So I'm excited to start this. All right, N2, read a backlist title from a 5-star author. Oh, this is fun. All right, so I picked Breakfast at Tiffany's and Other Stories by Truman Capote. I read In Cold Blood a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it, gave it 5 stars. And so yeah, I'm going to be adding this short story collection. That's quite exciting. All right, and the last pull. B2, read a debut with LGBT plus rep. Okay, I have 2 good choices for this. The first is Ruby Fruit Jungle by Rita Mae Brown. This is a coming-of-age novel, and it's also known as kind of a lesbian classic. And then an actual classic, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This is the only novel that Oscar Wilde wrote. So both of these sound good, but because I know I need to put a classic on here, I'm going to go ahead and choose The Picture of Dorian Gray. So that's obviously not going to be all of my books. So let's see what else I need to add. I'm going for Archmage for a second year in a row. In April, that means there are 6 prompts. There will be 8 in August. The first prompt I need is Alchemy, Metal in the title. I'm going to be choosing Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the second in the Daevabad trilogy, and I had such a blast with the first one, so I will be adding Kingdom of Copper. Metal in the title is actually kind of difficult for me, but I'm glad I had this one. The next prompt, Art of Illusion, match your clothes to a book cover. What I have down is remarkably bright creatures. This is a very bright and colorful cover with lots of orange and blue, and I have lots of tie-dye that have those colors. So I'm going to be picking remarkably bright creatures. For Artificery, start your read with a snack. I'll pick one of these to start a snack with. The next is Conjuration, recommendation from a friend. That was one of the reasons why I picked Piranesi. I had a friend recommend it to me, and so I knew that this would fill this prompt, so that's exciting. Inscription, a book from your highest shelf. Unfortunately for me, my highest shelf is a bunch of mass market paperbacks and manga, and most of it I've read already, but I haven't read Monster Volume 3, or if I have, I forgot to put it on Goodreads. So yeah, that will be what I'm reading from my top shelf. And the last one, Spells and Incantations. Read a book from 389 to 415 pages. I could pick quite a few books, quite honestly. It's a narrow range, but a lot of books would fit into it. I, however, am picking Wrong Time, Wrong Place by Gillian McAllister. This is a thriller that I've heard a lot about that has a time travel element. So I love a good time travel element, and so I'm excited to be picking that up. So I'm also doing a buddy read with some friends of the book of Women in Salt. So I will be adding that as well. So we've got these 4, plus Kingdom of Copper, plus Wrong Time, Wrong Place, and Women in Salt. So that's going to be my April TBR. Tell me, what are you reading in the month of April? Are you participating in the Magical Readathon? If so, let me know what you're going for and how many prompts. I'm really excited to have a chat with you down in the comments below. Thanks for joining. Bye.